49ers taking on the Chargers on Sunday Night Football here coming up. Of course, we'll be doing a watch party for it on Sunday night. On today's show, a lot of big 49ers injury news items to get to. We're going to go through some of the more notable injury developments. Of course, Jauan, Jennings, and Deebo Samuel did return to practice this week, but a lot of important nuggets to get to on the Niners injury report. Then we'll start taking your questions. A reminder, though, we will be going live on Callin after our watch party concludes. We will stay live on YouTube, but then we'll go live on Callin to start taking your calls. If you've never joined us on Callin, it's a live interactive podcasting app that allows you to call into the show, which is kind of like Twitter Spaces, but even better, or your local sports talk radio show. Win or lose, we go live to hear from the faithful. So make sure you download the app on your App Store or your Google Play Store. We put QR codes on the screen here. If you do have an iPhone, scan that QR code to the left. If you have an Android device, you can scan that QR code to your right. It's awesome to be able to answer and read your questions on YouTube. It's another to actually be able to hear your voices. So we'll put those download links in the comment section and the description of this video. Maybe the most notable injury development for the Niners, it's Elijah Mitchell. He had his practice window open this week to return from IR. He suffered a sprained MCL all the way back in week 1 against the Chicago Bears. And isn't it crazy how we're about to enter week 10 of the 2022 NFL season? At the start of it, you're like, man, we got a couple of months of football. And then before you know it, the season progresses so quickly and it just goes in the rear view. And already we're progressing very quickly throughout our show and throughout our season here on the 49ers report. Because of the trade of Jeff Wilson, you're going to see a lot of significant snaps for Elijah Mitchell, and he's up there with some of the best RB2s in the NFL. He will occupy that spot after the trade of Jeff Wilson. To the defensive side of the ball, Azeez Al-Shaair. This is great news here. He's been on IR with a sprained MCL. His practice window, like Elijah Mitchell, opened this week. He suffered his MCL injury against the Denver Broncos on Sunday Night Football when he kind of collided with Russell Wilson, and because of that, he suffered a calf injury, and the linebacking core could get bolstered. Dre Greenlaw has been dealing with a calf injury. We'll see what happens with him on Sunday Night Football. Either way, getting Azeez Al-Shaair back with this defense is huge news for DeMeco Ryans and the crew. And then along the trenches, Colton McKivitz suffered an MCL sprain in week 4 against the Rams. He is the Niners' top backup offensive swing tackle, and offensive line depth is so critically important throughout the rigors of an NFL slate. Offensive line has been a big surprise this year. Chris Forster, the offensive line coach for the Niners, does deserve a lot of props for the development of Spencer Burford, for Aaron Banks not giving up a sack this year, and then the overall coaching along that entire offensive line, which does include Colton McKivitz. Before we start taking your questions, there is a move that I do want to talk about this week. Wide receiver Tajae Sharpe was signed to the practice squad, well-traveled and pretty well-accomplished veteran in this league. Worked out during the bye week because of some of the injury issues that happened at that wide receiver position for the Niners. He was a 2016 fifth-round pick for the Tennessee Titans after playing his college ball at UMass and has a lot of experience at the NFL level. 117 grabs for nearly 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns. A pretty good practice squad addition for the San Francisco 49ers. Speaking of this game on Sunday Night Football against the Los Angeles Chargers, go Chargers! Arnold Schwarzenegger, suck on that San Fran pack. The betting odds here. Over-under set for 46.5, and the Niners, because the Chargers are so banged up, are the favorites here at 7.5. So you take a look at the betting odds here. Now we'll ask you to predict the score. I think the Niners win by 10. 30-20 is my prediction. I want to hear your predictions in the comment section right now. It should be a dub against the Chargers, and if the Niners don't win this game, I will be in shambles. All right, let's start taking your questions and your super chats here on the show. Jonathan Reese kicking things off here. All about stopping the run and the screen game for LA. Yeah, and obviously Justin Herbert is a fantastic player. And you got to be able to stop the pass too. The big play threat ability from Justin Herbert, it is dangerous. And it's always something you have to be wary of. And for the Niners, on the opposite side of that, Jonathan Reese, the Chargers are giving up 5.7 yards per carry. That's the worst in the NFL. Expect a ground and pound attack for the Niners. And with that, of course, they're going to be able to control the clock. Words of wisdom. What up? Which Bosa has a better game, brother versus brother? Well, Joey Bosa is still injured because of that groin issue. But either way, if they were both playing, I still think Nick Bosa is the better edge, and I don't think it's really close. Chualor, how can the 49ers destroy Khalil Mack? With some double teams, with some blockers getting out in space on some of those pull blocks. Those are a couple of ways in which the Niners can at least limit him. I don't think he's going to be a massive factor. You look at what the Niners have been able to do against some premier edge rushers in this league, like Aaron Donald. They're able to neutralize them with how this scheme is kind of put together by head coach Kyle Shanahan, but also the game planning. And I do expect that the Niners are going to have a pretty good plan of attack going up against Khalil Mack, especially coming off the bye week with an extra week to prepare. Steve Cass, what's going on, Steve? Can the defense stop the run without Eric Armstead and Jauan? When Eric Armstead is on the field, the Niners have a terrific run defense. Without him on the field, they struggle a lot. And it is really notable without him. Now, Jauan doesn't have the same impact that Eric Armstead has. Eric Armstead, You said Armstrong. Eric Armstead is one of the best run-stopping defensive tackles in the NFL. So a lot of people like to say, he makes way too much money. Eric Armstead isn't all that good. He is. And it's as evidenced by the numbers of the Niners' struggles against the run without him. But I do think they're going to be okay. Gabriel Martinez, why don't the Niners trade Jimmy G for Tom Brady and put Trey Lance as quarterback number 2? Well, the NFL trade deadline is passed, Gabriel Martinez. So you can't trade Jimmy G after this year because he's going to be a free agent. You could do a sign and trade. And if Tom Brady no longer wants to play for the Bucs, he would have to do a sign and trade as well. But both of them being free agents makes that a little bit difficult to actually maneuver. Extremely Average Gaming, my man, thank you for your $5 super chat. And with that, I'll give you a San Francisco. Who do you think has the best opportunity to help the Niners win? Jimmy G or Trey Lance when he returns? Well, Lance is going to be back until 2023. And I've said this a lot. I think that Lance is the more dangerous quarterback who gives you opportunities to be a more explosive and less predictable offense. I just want to see what the kid can do. Unfortunately for him, going all the way back to 2019, NFL and in college, he started to combine like 21 games. That's a big problem. Josh McBride, George Kittle, number 85, needs to be more involved. I agree. I'd like to see him more involved. And now that Trent Williams has returned, hopefully George Kittle can be less of a blocker and be utilized more as a pass catcher. We finally saw that a little bit against the Rams 2 weeks ago, in which he was able to give this offense a pretty good pass-catching option. But I agree. When he's involved more, the Niners offense is just much more dangerous. So who you got in this game? Let us know right now in the comment section. Are you going with the Niners? Do you like the Chargers? Let us know in the comment section. SF for San Francisco, LAC for the Chargers.